Alright, so today we finally get to Act 2. It took 6 videos to get here, so I can only imagine how long Act 3 is gonna be. But anyway, we're here for the journey, so sit tight, and if you liked the video, consider leaving a like down below, and subscribe to the channel for more Silksong. While randomly exploring, we kind of want to check in on the fleas here. But we've done a lot of different things, and we want to check if the fleas are good and all. So after talking to the fleas and trying out the new spa, we're invited to travel along with them. Now this is a crucial point. I looked it up later in the game, but you can actually avoid the mooring fight if you travel with the fleas earlier, which is a situation that I didn't know of, but it also kind of tells me that it would stop me from entering Act 3, which is a problem. So after carefully evaluating whether or not to travel, we choose to travel as we have already defeated the mooring. And I really love this animation here for the traveling with the fleas.
Tamiyan.
Once we get to Belhart's entrance, we're off. And after completing a few more side quests, and after meeting Lottie over here, a ladybug who's gonna allow us to play a game and win a prize.
Miofene.
Nera, pripalo cassetto.
Paspin.
Primpolo cassetto.
Unfortunately, we're not gonna play this game right now. And continue with some side quests. Finding tip here for the Belhart Shopmaster.
Benny Frank.
We encourage him to head out. And meet him back at Belhart.
Buenera.
While exploring, we come to this section. Now you might remember this from the beginning of the game. This section is not accessible without the needle end. So now that we have it, let's enter. After entering, we come to this section, which appears to have like a switch on the floor, but it seems to be inactive. So after exploring a bit, we hit these two switches. Which allows us to get the map of this section, which is called Weave Nest Atla. With the map in hand, we head back and hit the switch again, which allows us to teleport to the bottom. Once there, we're going to do the usual searching for breakable entries, and lo and behold, there obviously is one. But this kind of feels like a boss fight, so probably not going to go here for now. And probably going to check the rest of the place before we come to this section. Traveling a little. We come across this one boss fight with two moss mothers, mind you. And after getting beat a couple times, this is the first boss fight that I actually leave. As looking at the map, it seems like there's nothing behind this room, so it's just not worth my time. And let's go exploring the other route. And the other boss might be a little bit more interesting than this one. Exploring the other way, we come across this chamber with someone locked in a vessel. After talking to her a bit, we've come to know her name's Ava, and she's actually a descendant of the Weavers as well. Which is pretty interesting, since that would make her distant cousins with Hornet, which is very, very interesting. Honestly, that's pretty cool. Like meeting a distant cousin for a while away, that's pretty cool.
destre.
After talking to her, she finally upgrades her Hunter's Crest. This is another thing that she can do. She only upgrades the Hunter's Crest, not any others, as I've tested out coming back with all the other crests as well. So yeah, it's only going to be the Hunter's Crest that Ava is going to be able to upgrade. With the Hunter's Crest upgraded, we take our leave. Now the weaknesses are marked uniquely in the map. And looking at the map, we notice that there's a weakness. And looking at our map, we notice that there's a weakness available in the far fields. So let's head there. And after making a brief stop at one of my favorite characters in the game, honestly, I really want her house. Again, I'm saying that again. And after talking to her for a brief second, we head out. Arriving at the new Weave Nest. Hoping to explore a lot more, it seems that this Weave Nest is a lot smaller. And as I walk across these, it seems that it lights up. So after a few tries, we realize that if we walk fast enough, it gives us this trinket, this Silk Speed Anklet. Now, Silk Speed Anklets allow you to basically move faster with the condition that it will burn your silk, which is not a bad ability, but it's not for me, so we're not going to be using it much this run. Heading back to Belhard, we try to check what happens if we play the needle in like friendly areas, and it seems like they start singing, so that's pretty cool. Enough testing, we submit some more mossberries to the druid. And finally, we're headed to the last location in Act 1. If you go past this section over here and all the way to the left room over here, it's actually where Hornet was actually carried into. And it's the place where Hornet leaves Farloon. So I'm guessing we're gonna have some significance of it towards the end of Silksong, but I unfortunately cannot leave from right now.
Magina Fora.
Welcome to the Blasted Steppes. After gathering some things and coming across some of the worst enemies in the game, and dying once, we unlock this bench. On our second attempt, we finally meet Chakra,
Must be.
and realize we don't have enough rosaries for her map. So after battling a few more enemies, we gain enough rosaries. And buy the map. With the map in hand, we open this bench. And unfortunately we can't open the bellway here, so we're gonna need to farm a little bit more rosaries. And after finding this flea, and meeting Lumble here, with whom you can play a pretty fun dice game with. Honestly, hats off to Team Cherry, because they introduced gambling into this game as well. So yeah, you can actually gamble and lose all your rosaries here if you want.
Cadestre.
And after losing some rosaries here, we choose to listen to our better voices and not gamble. Beating up this old fencer here. We come to our first boss of the day. Lunchflies are a pretty simple boss as most of their attacks are telegraphed. However, I do take some Ls over here, which is not too much. I'm just playing a lot more aggressively, which leads to mistakes. Run back over here. And we have the conch flies. Now you'll notice that one of the conch flies escape over here, so I'm guessing we're gonna be facing that because the one that flew away seems really mad, and I don't think I'm not gonna not face her. Getting past the conch flies, we come to this really windy room. And after dying once, and talking to Sherma over here. Oof. Honestly, this kid is pretty cool. He made it all the way up here. That's pretty great. After meeting Sherma, we head back to the windy room and meet the pinstress.
Mi offende?
after learning the needle strike from her. And testing it out. We head further here. Grab this craft metal. And come to the entrance to the Citadel.
Fadastama. Benifrey.
After talking to the pilgrims waiting to get in, we're told that we need to hit all the bells in Farloom, which we have so far, so all we need to do is play the needle in to get in. But nothing's that easy. Of course there's a final boss here. Let's get started. And after a few L's, we finally beat the boss. But unfortunately, I stand in the worst place possible and still die. But what matters is we beat the boss and we can finally get to Act 2. And of course, it didn't get beat. Of course. So, a few more tries. last judge is finally down. This time I make sure to stay as far away from this boss as I can as it explodes. And we're in Act 2. That's it for today, guys. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to the channel. I've been Korogami, and I'll see you guys in the next one.